Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Transfermarkt International from our headquarters in Hamburg, Germany. We start with Chelsea, whose youngsters yesterday got a little shock when they lost to Valencia in their first campaign in the Champions League 0-1. The team around Tammy Abraham couldn't score, but they did very well in the Premier League so far. And that brought Chelsea a new record. 11 Chelsea goals have been scored by Chelsea Academy graduates, 7 of them by Tammy Abraham, who leads all Premier League scorers together with Man City's Sergio Aguero. 3 of the Chelsea goals coming by Mason Mount and 1 by Fikayo Tomori, which means all 11 Chelsea goals have been scored by Chelsea Academy graduates, and the 3 of them eclipsed the previous Chelsea record to the era of owner Roman Abramovich since 2003 that occurred last season when Chelsea graduates had 6 goals. Manchester City has to play without Aymeric Laporte for at least about 6 months, as Citizen coach Pep Guardiola informed the public. The 25-year-old French centre-back suffered a knee injury that requires surgery, with John Stones out as well. Said Manchester City is running short of central defenders lately. David De Gea is the highest paid Premier League player. The 28-year-old goalkeeper of Manchester United extended his contract for 3 more years with an option for another year until June 2023. According to the newspaper's Time, the Spaniard will earn £13.5 million in net wages per year, according to Red Devils coach Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Well deserved, since he sees De Gea as the best goalkeeper in the world. We have to ask, really? Not if you take the market value of him and compare that to other great goalies in the world. We find De Gea with Manchester United and a goal against average of 1.003 on position 5 in market value, 65 million euros for De Gea on spot number 5. Spot number 4 is for Ederson, the goalie for Manchester City, the 26-year-old number 2 for Brazil, 70 million euros in market value. The Champions League champion, Alisson, who is goalie for Liverpool, 80 million euros. He has 28 clean sheets in 53 games with Liverpool. Marc-André ter Stegen had some heroics against Borussia Dortmund, saving another penalty against Marco Reus. He stands at number 2 at 90 million euros. And number 1, Jan Oblak, the Slovenian goalkeeper of Atletico Madrid, 100 million euros. Well deserved, since his goal against average at Atletico is at 0.7 in 212 games for the Colchoneros, and way above 50% of his games ended with 0 goals against Atletico. Oblak, our number 1 in the top 5 most valuable goalkeepers in the world. 3 goalies of Premier League teams in the top 5 goalies in market value in the world. The market value always interesting in the Premier League. And of course, that leads us to a market value update of Premier League teams and players. And we have some developments for certain players like Sebastian Haller, who came in from Eintracht Frankfurt into West Ham United. He scored 3 goals right away in the first 4 games in Premier League. He goes up from 40 to 45 million euros in market value. Next up is Wilfried Zaha, who is always interesting for competition and other teams. He still plays with Crystal Palace. His market value moves up to 55 million euros. The right winger from Ivory Coast is on the papers of Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea. He so far hasn't scored in the Premier League, but is very valuable for Crystal Palace. Now, 2 defenders with big leaps in market value. The first one, Harry Maguire, the most expensive defender in the world after coming in from Leicester into Manchester United. His market value up from 50 to 70 million euros, the 26-year-old English international. And of course, we can't stop without looking at Europe's Player of the Year, Virgil van Dijk, the central defender from the Netherlands, won the Champions League with Liverpool and now breaks the 100 million euro barrier in market value. He is the most valuable defender in the world. Very well deserved. And of course, there are always some downgrades, and we have one as an example. Willian, the Brazilian international, the right winger, now being over 30 in 31 years of age. He only played 145 minutes in Premier League action so far, going down from 40 to 35 million euros. Of course, all the market value changes you can find on our webpage. Juventus will start its Champions League campaign without Croatian striker Mario Mandzukic, who didn't make the Champions League roster for the Italian champion. Now, Tuttosports reports there is interest in the desert for Mandzukic. The Qatari club Al Gharafa is willing to sign the World Cup runner-up, the 33-year-old Croatian, in winter. Serbian international Nemanja Matic has admirers in Italy. The Manchester United central midfielder, 31 years old, he is on the paper of Italian bigs AC Milan, Inter and Juventus. Also Borussia Dortmund is interested in signing the Serbian international with a market value of 25 million euros. His contract with Manchester United runs into June 2020, so he would sign without a signing fee in June. Let's see where he ends up. There are different rumors about Manchester United, who seem to be interested in signing Toni Kroos on a player swap. The German World Cup champion of 2014, still with Real Madrid until June 23, under contract, four-time Champions League champion, might swap places with Paul Pogba, who is French world champion in 2018. The 26-year-old is favorite of Real coach Zinedine Zidane, so both players could swap places in a blockbuster trade coming up this summer. Paul Pogba might not play tonight because of his injury for Manchester United in the Champions League, but he makes it into our squad, a very special one, I might say, because this is it. We have the squad of the tallest players in Europe's top leagues, and we take a look at it, and starting at goalie position with Thibaut Courtois at 1.99 meters, almost 2 meters tall. Then we have as defenders Zagadou from Borussia Dortmund, 1.96, Vestergaard from Southampton, 1.99, and Coates, 1.96 from Sporting Lisbon. Then in central midfield, defensive midfield, Nsonsi 1.96, and Javi Martinez with Bayern Munich 1.92. Scott McTominay is even taller than Paul Pogba at 1.93. Pogba 1.99, and Gregoritsch, who plays with Augsburg in the German Bundesliga, at 1.93. And we have very tall strikers. Wout Weghorst from Wolfsburg at 1.97, and Bas Dost at 1.96, now playing with Eintracht Frankfurt. This is the tallest squad of players in Europe's top leagues. That could be a team that is very much reliant on high balls coming into the box. If there is a team of tall players that make up a squad of the tallest players in Europe's top leagues, there has to be a squad of small players who make up a pretty good team of small guys in Europe's top leagues. And of course, leading this squad must be Lorenzo Insigne, who with Napoli yesterday won against Liverpool with Napoli 2-0 in Champions League action. In goal, we have Sergio Alvarez, who plays for Celta de Vigo, only at 1.79 meters. The central defenders also pretty small, Morel of Stade Rennes and Bustinza, who is with Leganés. The right and left defenders at 1.68 and 1.65 meters. Marco Verratti, pretty prominent player in central midfield defensively, and Torreira. Verratti at 1.65, Torreira from Arsenal at 1.66. And then we have Lorenzo Insigne on the left side, attacking at 1.63. The smallest player in the squad, together with Ryan Fraser, who is playing with Bournemouth, at 1.63. Also Guitan, central midfield offensively, 1.64. And we have one striker who's pretty small, central striker Papu Gomez, the captain of Atalanta Bergamo, who makes his Champions League debut tonight. He stands at 1.65, and this makes up a pretty good small squad of smallest players in Europe's top leagues. No matter how tall you are or how small you are, I sure hope you enjoyed this edition of Transfermarkt International, and tune in next week. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.